Ghast coming at you with another game of hardcore Minecraft. And I'm excited to do the same stuff I do all the time. Talk to myself and play video games. So let's get right to it, right? Little bit of putting stuff where they belong, inventory wise. Just a little bit, you know. You don't wanna do too much. Ruin people's expectations for you. Alright. Next night we need to hello Joker, how are you? Next night we gotta fight through it. We need a bunch of gunpowder. Hey Melissa. You did make it. Welcome. Welcome. Alright, so do I have any random foods places? I mean, wheat is technically food. We could just go get, yeah, you know, we could just go nether it up a bit, be productive, because we need more ghasts. It's very important. Alright, do I need to make more fire res potions? Well, I've got one there and then two more in there. No, that's fine. We're fine. Alright, now we're super ready to go. Except we don't have rockets. So we can't go to the nether yet. No, I mean, you could theoretically get some gunpowder in the nether, but not, like, enough. Not enough to traverse, so we'll just want to find something productive to do in the meantime. Alright, those people are stuck, and I never did anything about it. Alright, you know, we can do something about that while we're trying to make this happen. What to do? Okay, so yeah, we'll just make, do we have fencing materials here? I mean, probably not. We have one fencing material. No, that's a bunch of logs. Good deal. You never know where I'll have left them. So I'm not, like, super attached to any of these pigs. Alright, so now that this is a more manageable area, how do we get them out of here? By making a gate? Probably should have made one of those to begin with, huh? There's probably a gate at some point on it. Yes, now you. Alright. You know, that might have been a little bit more extreme than it had to be, but at least they're out now. This gate is not terribly desirable. No, where is... Did the pig devour the fence post? Yeah, you think you guys are getting free? No. To set an example to the others. None. None are permitted to leave. You guys made me deal with villagers. None of you pigs are innocent here. Alright, there we go. Everything's better now. And, you know, we'll, please buy this. Hey, there we go. Alright, good stuff. Now that's sorted out. We just need to cook some more pork chops. Plenty of fuel still, yes. And of course, just in time to, just in time to make the pig pen bigger, we get rid of a whole bunch of pigs. You know, they'll be back in no time. It's never like, you know, you're not you're not gonna be pig limited for very long, right? You know, a little bit of carrots goes a long way. We totally should be carrying more wood around with this. Hey, Natasha. I kind of like it, you know. I might do a different trim for the head, but I totally dig the nice, you know, straight lines, very chic. But really, it's because I didn't think I knew, like I had read, you know, somebody say, you know, blah blah blah. Knockback resistance. That to me, I was like, okay, so what? Who cares? And dude, it's so noticeable, isn't it? Like, you're like a tower, right? Like, you get hit and you're right back in the fight. You get shot by a skeleton because you're not very good, and you know, you don't avoid it. You don't carry a shield. You know, if if that applies to you. It may not. But, see, the keyboard's as high as the music with a new mic. Yeah, like, I have the keyboard, like, the keyboard's in front of it. I don't have a different way to do it right now. I mean, I do. I just have to set this boom stand up. But I'll try to be less intense with the keyboard pressing. Although sometimes, you know, you can get really into it if you're me. But yeah, like I didn't, you know, I spent most of my time just, you know, not doing much, and then there was a skeleton and it shot me, and I was like, and then I was like right back on. I'm like, oh wait, now I see. Yeah, I probably could have done this a while ago. I mean, you know, it's not a big deal, because I was so focused on the survivability that the wonderful utility of essentially just tanking a hit and being an immovable object. Like it's pretty excellent, you know. I would get a mod that made it look like diamond before I would want to go back, you know. I totally agree that it's excellent. Like right there, like you can fail to get the first hit properly, get hit, and then still make it up. Like right there, you know, if you got shot by a skeleton, maybe you couldn't make the creeper time. It almost doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's pretty lovely. Oh no. A llama? He's supposed to be dead! So I think the wandering traders, they drink a potion and go invisible at night, but I believe their llamas still get mad, or maybe the skeleton started it, or the zombies. For example, this one has now picked up a large bone as if he's in the Flintstones and is attacking me. Oh no, not a little one. This is the worst day of my life. Actually, it's a whole lot easier now that the knockback doesn't change probably where you're at all on the screen. Like, yeah, you barely... I was letting him hit me to see, like, how the crosshair would change. But yeah, it's almost... almost like being knockback proof. Very excellent stuff. Only 6 gunpowder so far. This is not wonderful. Alright, there's a couple over there. You know, just because I learned how to do it the proper way doesn't mean we have to do it, you know. After all, this way is faster. I said it's faster. Oh my goodness, I really thought we were going to hit it with one of those. Apparently, I can't shoot it all. Oh, that last one hit? That's pretty funny. I had sort of given up on it. I thought I needed to get closer. I thought I'd totally been misjudging the drop. Nope, that's bad. Aww. I made a mistake there. I was like running forward whenever I released, like right there, and it makes it very difficult to see the trajectory when you're in first person, which of course Probably gonna be if you're using the bow. Is that another little guy? Man. Because we kind of need to go to the Nether and get more gasolines, but if I can't get more gunpowder, you know, I don't want to go in with, like, you know, 30 rockets. It's not really enough, is it? But with these creepers out of the picture... Oh, come on. Oh, really? I missed that too. Poor performance indeed, but that shot was nice behind the leg. I will claim I meant to do it. It will be very believable. Aw, really? Sure, really? Okay, I was like, one of them's gotta hit, right? That's just like a law of nature. Okay, so if you're running forward full speed whenever you release the bow, the projectile still goes, but you don't see it in flight. Like right there. Which I guess I didn't know that, but now I know. Maybe I'd noticed before in the past, and now I have re-noticed. Because you definitely can't see it running, but it still hit them. The aim was true. Alright. 60 rockets is better. We'll still be able to maybe get a couple more handfuls of creepers before the end. Since, of course, daylight comes for them all, but creepers don't burn up in the daylight, they just don't spawn in the broad daylight. You know, they'd have to be, you know, like in a little cave or something, or that kind of thing. Hey, Q. I'm doing just fine. Ah, yes. Some of our amazing ranged hits. We should pick up our loots. Alright, and map hack. Oh no, the map hack is gonna hit a bunch of arrows. It's gonna be like the proof of all of my misses. Alright, maybe that's all of it. 28, I mean, it's not... It's not perfect. But a couple dozen, and then, you know, we'll just bring extra paper. And if we find ghast, they'll drop some too. And we're probably just going to go to that one place that's, like, decent for finding them, that's not too far away. Not least because, you know, I just don't feel like going in there for a super long time. You know, we only need a couple tiers in order to get the next ghast lane, so we're just gonna drop everything off real quick. Alright, do we need anything else? Nah. Creator. What an absolutely wonderful track. I remember the first time I heard it. Not like everything about the day, but I remember the first time after we found it in a trial ruin, and we came back and you, Natasha, you were like, oh, this one's awesome, and then I was like, oh wow, no, you weren't even joking. I do love Creator. But it's kind of funny. All the songs that we like end a stream with, they all like make me feel, every time I hear them, I'm like, wait, is that Pig Step? I guess it's time to stop. You know, when the music's over, turn out the lights, kind of thing. But alright, so the ender chest, we never picked up an ender chest. See, that's the kind of thing that you gotta double check. What a song. Alright, there we go. Time to go. Yeah, blaze patter. Absolutely don't need it. Everything else, we are suitably over-prepared. Yes. I know there's another entry portal, like, right there. And it even is very close to the other one. I also do remember that we haven't fixed that guy up yet. Whoops. Bonked our little head. Yeah, this is even a much better place to come into the Nether at, because you can just take off. You know, as one does. Whoops. Oh well, you take just like barely any damage. That was kind of a fast hit anyway. I don't know why I'm worried about it, I say. No. I'm gonna still act like you're not supposed to run into a wall with the electric, because I'm sure that you can like get way more velocity some way. And while I do have a totem, I don't want to I don't want to use it up like that. Bastion? We've never been here. Alright, well. Or at least, if we've been here, it was a long time ago. But let's get to it. So, as we know, the most important thing in a Bastion is to shoot them with arrows from far away. Especially the dudes in the little black overalls. Because they have AP. Anyway, this is why you have to bring a lot of arrows. Can I hit that? I mean, I might be able to. Yeah! And then they'll go to the other side of it. Almost. This reminds me so much of Mountain Blade Warband. Oh man, maybe I will play that game again sometime. You spend a whole lot of time in siege battles just like trying to drop arrows over crenellations on walls. Or at least you do if you're me. Some people prefer to fight with a sword or an axe. Or a spear, and I'm like, I will do that if I run out of arrows. You can't do horse archery in the siege battles, because you absolutely can do it in the regular battles, and I'm sure you can guess what I do with my time. Four gold blocks? It's not bad. I mean, they have the cool little thing. Is there a term for the gold structure that you find in the bastions? You know how like there's the one part that's always like a little like sculpture made out of gold blocks, and there's only like one of them per bastion. I figured there's probably like a fan name for them. I didn't know if there was like a formal name for it though. Hey Evan, how are you? It's like, oh, are all you chumps stuck there? That's a shame. Couldn't happen to me. I found this layout very confusing. Alright, so that's a polished basalt. It looks like wood almost. Okay. That actually could be a cool pillar material, couldn't it? You know, next year for the 2nd year anniversary stream of Minecraft, we'll, like Natasha said, we'll maybe put the first stone in the Temple of Wheat. Say your luck's bad in your game, Evan. You know, I don't want to get all preachy, but I often don't even want to, like... I always want to tell you not to do it. Anyway, you know, I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life, but I don't want to encourage you either, and I'm not going to. Even if something good happens for you when you gamble in a game, it's still bad. Because that's how they get you. But, I'm sorry you're having a bad time of it. Unless you say no matter how hard you try, you can never remember how to make a red coder. I don't even think I've heard of one of those. Is that still a, like, function on your calculator, or is it a whole different sort of concept than that? Alright, we forgot to get... the pork chops before we left home. It'll be fine. We could always get some pork chops here. Ah, look, they have fallen. How terrible that is for them. I mean, not for me. I got through it fine. Gold! It's like a free-to-play, at least. Well, that's better, at least. Yeah, the tornado threat? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You don't get them all the time up there, I don't think, so... You know, as a person from Arkansas who gets tornado stuff absolutely all the time, you know, just do all the stuff that it says you're supposed to do, and that's all you can do about them. It would make sense if I was afraid of them, but I'm not particularly. But you know, you gotta be respectful. They are crazy storms. You know, like I think a lot of people that aren't from like a tornado area, like they're not really aware of what they can be like. But it's never nice to find out, of course. And speedrunner has like some backup ones that are hidden ones, but the main ones are the big piles of gold. Oh no, I'm being attacked. Alright, so there's more bastion somewhere, because we didn't see it anywhere. We went down the whole thing, I thought. Hey, another chest. That's funny. I mean, I don't think we found everything in it, but a diamond shovel, which we'll leave there. Some obsidian, which we'll take. Bones, 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 bones. I'm like, oh, I guess these stairs might be the way. Oh, that one's not a stair. Hey guys, I finally found the way that you're supposed to walk into a bastion, apparently. Maybe it's not going to keep on going for a while, but maybe Maybe they all have these internal walkways, and I've just now for the first time found them. Hello, I am a guest. That wasn't a convincing lie. Oh no, that is a lot of sounds. It's alright, I just need to get my health up. I had gotten it low and I didn't have even my, a snout banner pattern. Oh, it's large. I probably already have one. This is about the most, like, encased in netherrack I think I've ever seen a bastion. I've seen a lot of fortresses like this. But I guess, you know, with how shrouded it was, and it's a whole lot of bastion that you just can't see, huh? Like, at any moment, I feel like I'm just gonna, like, get right upon the gold. You can sort of hear them, you know. This is still, like, definitely bastion land. This is just, like, the roof of all of it, and I just need to go down a little bit. There we go. Alright, we want to be careful here and just not have a spot for them. And then we'll be able to fight the brutes. Aha! A snoot pattern. This is the weirdest like the weirdest bastion I've ever been to. But it's really just because it's like not exposed to the air, so I can't fly over it. And I'm forced to like play it the real way. You know, every time I've done this in the past, I open a fountain of lava on myself and die. No, it's only happened once. Oh, no, I wasn't near the top at all, was I? No, I was not. Maybe I have already been here and all I did was take the gold and leave? That would be funny. Searching for a treasure that I have already stolen. Belongs in a museum! Because this part doesn't really have any brutes that I'm noticing. Well, we'll find out right now. Yep, definitely been here before. Hey, we'll take these 43 arrows. Good luck, Evan. You're trying to make Yahtzee with displays? Oh, that sounds so fun. Yahtzee is, to me, a tremendously engaging game for the fact that you don't control very much. It's, you know, I always enjoyed it whenever I would play with my siblings. Of course, I would always rather be playing video games, but there were plenty of times when that was not possible. Or it was possible and it wasn't allowed. Whatever. Sometimes there would be tornado type things going on and we would be playing Yahtzee, you know. Yeah, playing games that are, you know, dependent on RNG can be very frustrating for sure. It's like as I say a lot, you know, I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft once upon a time. And in WoW it can be like just really, really miserable. If you need something that doesn't drop very often. I mean, depending on your personality type and the people that are running with you and everything. I never minded, you know, failing at the same thing over and over and over again if I was hanging out with people that were fun to play with and all. But, you know, there were plenty of times like where, like one of my really good friends, they needed this one specific item and you didn't even always get the boss when you ran in the dungeon, and then the boss didn't even always drop the item, and we did it, you know, hundreds of times. We spent dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of hours just like hanging out and trying to do it and, you know, rolling the internal game dice. But of course we got it. Of course we did. I'm good luck. Not for like myself, but for other people that I play games with. It's documented. They would be like, we've been here 170 times. It's never gonna drop. I'm giving up. And I was like, no, you can't give up. You have to believe. They're like, what? All you ever talk about is how good it feels to give up. I'm like, that's for me. You have to believe. I don't have to. I can do what I want. Natasha say it's funny seeing people talk about these old games. The only time was playing inside a video game decades after. Yeah, you know, time is funny like that. You know, the way that it twists our perceptions, the way that it magnifies and obscures things in turn. The way that things are like culturally selected for prominence, the way that they're remembered, you know, after their current time. There's this game that I loved on the Sega Dreamcast called Shenmue, and I believe they made like several of them, but I only really played the first one. But inside Shenmue, there's like a darts game, and there were all these different mini games and stuff. It was like an RPG with like martial arts elements, but it's set in like the modern day in Japan, and the video game Space Harrier was in it, which is a great game from it was like an arcade game from back in the 80s, I think, and you could just play Space Harrier inside of Shenmue. And I remember being just like totally enamored of that fact. Like, I thought it was like very awesome that you could do that. So from like right here, you can almost see that there's a bastion right there. I need a ghast. Bonk. But I still have friends, and like real life friends and internet friends that are, you know, actively playing World of Warcraft, the classic, like the modern recreation of the original vanilla version. But I gave it a brief try when it came back, and I didn't even play till my whole month. I was just like, this isn't fun, I don't want to do it, I'm gonna go plant wheat in Minecraft. And they're like, what? I'm like, why are you guys acting like WoW is a fun game? You can't even plant wheat here. And they're like, oh no, he's totally lost the plot. I'm like, no, this makes sense. You guys just don't understand. Did ghast not spawn in this biome? Did you see me do a little swivel in the air there? Evidently, you say it's on Bounce on Wave like a week ago. It was a little bit longer ago than that. Yeah. Yes, he's moved on to a new one. I forget what he's working on now, but yeah, very exciting stuff. I watched some of the replay of his stream. It was a couple of weeks ago when he got it, but he did recently make I think quite an excellent video. You know, I haven't watched so much of Geometry Dash videos or whatever, but I did watch his. It was like 20 minutes or so. You know, his Sonic Wave journey. And it was pretty well done. Like, I thought it was edited pretty well. You know, like, it had... I need to get this on. It had, like, good, like, scene transitions, and the music was fun and stuff. And, you know... the video editing style I thought was, like, pretty solid. Although I don't have, like, a lot of taste for that, and I've never watched, like, Geometry Dash stuff, but yeah. But I was excited for him. He's a real cool guy. He helped me out a lot with stuff whenever I was starting out. And I did not understand that he was, like, a prominent figure for quite some time of, like, him coming around in streams and chilling and stuff. But it was, you know, nice of him to help me out. But yeah, I did see that he beat it. Yeah, he beat it a while ago. He finally, I think, like, edited a video of all of his stuff and released that. Which, hopefully that blows up for him. You know, hopefully a bunch of people, you know, start checking his stuff out that weren't before. But I was pumped for him whenever he said he beat it, or people said he did, you know, whenever I found out that he beat it in the first place. But after the video, it, like, you know, he did a good job with the storytelling of it to make it, you know, feel very, like you really understood the accomplishment, right? we've definitely been here already. It seemed like a kind of dumb move, but then I was like, you know, I bet we could do it. And then it worked out. We didn't even take any damage, so that's pretty sweet. Nice. Oh, right. Right over the water. Perfect. What hit me? Oh, I've been shot by an arrow. They just let you do that, I guess. I really like that I felt the need to have a portal there and a portal here. I do not know what historically led this to happening, but it's funny. It's a little funny. Oh, that's why. Because it was a real portal on the route of the canal. Which I would have discovered after I came out. Alright, well, now I know. A real portal. A previously existing ruined portal. They're all real and equally unreal. You know, that's all I've got to say about that. Ghast cries, but where, precious? Aha! Oh, I missed. I was like, we're gonna be a hero. That's one fine hit. Get back here, I want to hit you with my sword. Ow. We need to get our... Oh, wow, yeah. We need to get the real armor on. Those last 4 levels of protection make such a big difference. Good enough. That'll let us get 2. Alright, how do we get back? Nice. Someone's gravel shovel? Well, because before I decided that I could just put the fortune shovel in there and use this one most of the time anyway. This one was so I could get actual gravel, and I expected that I would keep it in the ender chest instead of how things ended up here. Get a black and a white dye, get a gray dye, and then we can make forgot to dye the wool. You don't dye. You might be able to just dye the harness for all I know. But anyway. Do I have a name tag? Actually, I have a name for another one, and then we will, oh, is it soul sand? it is indeed soul sound. Evan, you say you're probably going to go to bed soon. Well, we're going to be ending this soon also. Not like immediately, but we're about to go put some gas in the water. And we're gonna name another ghast, and we're gonna caravan some of them over to you know, over where Agastus is. I thought of another one. It's very obvious to me that I should have thought of it a while before, but because, well, when you see the name, you'll be like, oh, why didn't you immediately think of that? I mean, I did. I was just like, oh, no, maybe we won't do it. But I decided with only the first part of the name, that makes it funnier and therefore great. Clean. Oh, I forgot the snowballs. Where did I... Oh, there they are. And the poor, sad little ghast will get happier and happier. Come here, buddy. What a charming color. Alright, so this gray ghast is named Gorman, everyone. Gorman Ghast. Now you might say, why is that the name? Well, you see, there are these books called Gorman Ghast. It's all one word. It's the name of the castle in it. But not Gorman Ghast, but that's going to be his name, you know, Gorman, you know, gas. We're just not going to put the gas thing on there because that's equally funny. But yeah, exactly. I don't know if you're familiar. They did like a BBC show of it. It's not like mega famous fantasy, but I think they're very excellent, super interesting books. The first one's called Titus Grown. Anyway, they're very fascinating. We'll talk about them a little bit while we're going to round up Caspar and the other unnamed one and go on a little journey. Good night, Evan. But yeah, because Gorman Ghast is actually, I've thought several times about like building a Gorman Ghast thing here, just because of how awesome Gorman Ghast is. So basically, it's like Gorman Ghast is this castle, and it's like super old and like dusty and decaying, and they have all these weird traditions. You know, they have to take certain stairways and, you know, like hold an egg in their left hand for a certain amount of minutes on whatever day. And that's like for the Earl of Gormenghast. And Titus Groan's the name of the first book, and it's like the character Titus, he just like gets born. He's like a baby for the whole book. But yes. And now the other guests are ambling here where they wish to be. Augustus, the Emperor, Badgastmobile, the Fledermaus. And Gormenghast, of course. And Gorman's gray because Gormenghast is a very gray place. But I'm barely like, I keep on saying that I like them. They're shockingly beautifully written. There's like, Mervyn Peake is the name of the author. Peake has this way of weaving descriptions in that seem like they were like in a lesser writer's hands, they would feel like they went on too long, right? Like, how are you still talking about this person's hair or the cats in this room? But it just works so well. There's all these things. So like the one of the villains is called Steerpike. It is full of amazing names like that. And Steerpike works in the kitchens, where there's a cook, Abiatha Swelter, what a name, right? And they, they're at loggerheads because Steerpike is, ambitious. He wants a different life, but in Gormenghast, nobody gets that, right? Everybody's life is basically determined, when they're born. The Earl is the Earl, but he doesn't run the castle. He is ran by it. The tradition forces him to do what he wants. And in the second book, Titus Groan is like a teenager and stuff, and one thing leads to another, and he runs away. And then in the third book that was like unfinished, and then somebody else finished it, but Peake died before he finished it. Titus like adventures out, and he like finds out that there's like a weird steampunk world with like airships and stuff, and they were all living in this like ancient castle. And but anyway, Gormenghast are wonderful books. I recommend them very much. I have one of them. Yes. I have the Gormenghast. I was like, I think I lent somebody Titus Groan, and they never brought it back. It's fine. I'll sometimes trail off like that. Whenever I lend a person a book, I do it with the expectation that I'll never get it back. Sometimes I don't return people's books, even though I try. I forget. Mr. Pump, you're the only one who understands me. seed for Garuda. I'm like, was I not floating gracefully? Nice little pork chop for Hank. That's fine, you know, whatever. Sometimes you just gotta run into a wall. But, well, it comes to the end for us as well. I invite you to sit, stand, or kneel as you prefer for the playing of the national anthem, Pig Step by Lena Rain. A great video, in my opinion, you know, in my opinion. First of all, 2 new ghasts in the water. Gorman got a harness on him. You know, we were, everything's doing great. You can't quite see them over there, but they're there. I'm not sure what's going on with those particle effects. Maybe they're like stars falling from the sky? Luca absolutely partying. What a good bird. Tashi said it's a good name for ghast too, because the only mob that goes to multiple parts of the life cycle. Block, ghast and adult. Oh, yeah. You know, I hadn't thought of that, but that is excellent. Yeah, that sort of mirrors that as well. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Because I was just sort of racking my brain at work. You know how, like, I'm supposed to be doing my job, but I'm actually thinking about video games? I was doing that again. It went fine, but I was like, why not Gorman ghast? I was like, you know, Gorman would be funnier. Because then I get to over-explain it anytime I want, including, like, in the middle of flying on him. This is desirable for obvious reasons. But... Ah, Cornelius. What a good friend he is. Hi, Hyder. Sorry, you came upon here right at the very end of the video. But, yeah, I got it. I've had this mic for a couple of months, but it was sitting on my table in the other room. I did not open it, but I finally got it set up. But, yeah, that's all for me today. Sorry, Hyder, but... That's the end for this. We got some new ghast. It was very exciting. But perhaps I'll catch you in another stream or video. Good night, Melissa. Good night, Natasha. It's nice hanging out with you guys, but unfortunately, it's time for me to stop talking and start sleeping. But perhaps I'll see you tomorrow. You know, I got to work and everything, but I should be around at some point. Perhaps I'll see you there. See you guys.